Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is Straight Outta Boston, and today I'm back for episode number 59 of my Pittsburgh Pirates franchise series here on MLB 17, the show. So today we're back with the year number 7 World Series. It is the year 2023. It's going to be the Pirates against the Yankees. Pirates are back in the World Series for the 4th time in 5 years. They have won twice in that time frame, winning in 2019 we won in 2019. I think we played the Red Sox that year, although I don't remember exactly who we played, to be honest. That was the year Marte had the walk-off hit in Game 6, I think it was. And then the next year, we followed up with the Game 7 loss to the Indians in the World Series. We blew a 3-2 series lead that year. That was a disappointing loss. The year after that was the loss to the Dodgers in the championship series, and then last year we reclaimed the crown, defeating the Angels. This year we're going for a back-to-back. We're in the World Series for the 2nd straight season, and we're taking on the Yankees, a team we have not yet faced. They were the winners of the American League East this year, only 88 wins, but the 6th ranked team overall. And you see it there, 5th overall in contact and 3rd in pitching, and that is really where the strength of the team lies, is in the starting rotation. You're going to see that. They also still have a pretty decent bullpen, at least a couple elite arms, and or at least one elite arm. But you see here is their roster, and you see right away the starters: Severino, Mania, Tyone, a 91 overall now, and Taijuan Walker, along with Parker Davis, who's their 5th starter, who actually I think is in their playoff rotation. He's been getting starts over Taijuan Walker, despite Walker really beasting these last couple of years for the Yankees. So interesting stuff there. Yoenis Frederick, who I want to say was maybe a throw-in in that Jameson Taillon for Gary Sanchez trade. I don't remember, but I feel like he was one of our guys. And now he's a nice little player here for the Yankees. Really good year last year. 943 OPS with 29 bombs. He was, oh my goodness, he was almost an A-win player. And then this year, a little bit of a come down from that. But anyway, they have a few familiar faces: Castro, Judge, Torres, but some, a lot of new names: Christian Vasquez, Brantley, McCullers, Odubel Herrera, Luis Arias. Their bullpen, they have 76 overall Dylan Betances. They still have Chapman. He's pretty much their best arm. Bullpen's not great, but their rotation is really, really good. And they're going to have Walker and McCullers, I think, coming out of the bullpen for them. So that's pretty good stuff for them. Right now we have Tanaka slated to pitch Game 1. I want that to be DeGrom because he's going to be fully rested. So we want the rotation to be DeGrom, Tanaka, Alvarez, and Keller. Rest of the roster is going to stay the same. Let's set our DH lineups, which I haven't done yet this postseason. But we're going to have to do at some point this series because we will play games in New York. So I think Ackerman is going to be my DH against lefties. Against righties, we could go with Valenzuela. Although, to be honest, I think Ackerman, I kind of lean towards him just because I do think he's the better hitter overall. And he had really good numbers for us in the small sample after being called up towards the end of the year. So I think I'm just going to go with him. DH him because his fielding rating is only a 51, so we'll keep Esposito at 3rd base. And then we just want to hit Gillespie in front of Esposito, as we have been all postseason. And Gillespie is right now the front runner for postseason MVP. He's hitting 341's, got 3 bombs and 41 at-bats. Let's get Ackerman in there. Ackerman can play all the outfield positions and first base, but not 3rd base. So we could, Rubio's a good fielder. Marte's a good fielder, Trout's a pretty decent fielder still, and Gillespie's a decent fielder, all better fielding ratings than Ackerman, so I'm going to keep him as the DH, and the rest of the lineup is going to look the same. He basically just slots in there for the pitcher. So here we go, game number 1. The World Series is back in the Bronx. I don't know if the Yankees have made the World Series in this franchise, but they certainly haven't made it in the years that we've played them. I know that, and I honestly don't think they have, so cool rematch here of the 1960 World Series, and it's going to be DeGrom and Severino, 2 of the best pitchers in the game in real life, matching up here in Game 1 of this series. We were almost 30 wins better than them in the regular season, 28 games better than them in the regular season, but all that matters now are the following or upcoming 7 games. Could be less than that, but this is all that matters now, the World Series, the Fall Classic. Time to lay it all on the line and try to win our 3rd World Series in 5 years and our 2nd straight, as the World Series is underway from PNC Park. Pirates with the home field advantage this year, thanks to having the better record. Of course, the All-Star game does not matter anymore. And here we go through the 5th. It's 2-1 New York. Facing the heart of the lineup for the 3rd time is DeGrom, but he has no trouble there. Severino dealing with 6, 7, 8 from the Pirates in the bottom of the 6th. And he also gets them 1, 2, 3. DeGrom back out for the 7th inning facing Brantley, who leads it off with a single. Now Mesoraco up next. He grounds into a double play. Dietrich up with 2 outs. He flies out. So DeGrom's night is going to be done. His spot leads off in the lineup. He's 1 for 1. Probably laid down a sac bunt earlier as well. And he is going to be pinch hit for here in the bottom of the 7th. It's going to be, let's go with Ernesto Valenzuela to try and lead things off and get on base. It is Betances on for the Yankees now, pitching the 7th inning here. And Valenzuela leads it off with a single. Marte is the next man up. He strikes out. Lindor now with a man on and 1 man down. And he grounds into the inning-ending double play. So that sends us to the 8th, down by a run still. And it is going to be, I think we'll go with Barrett Boyce here. A 1-run game, so we want to keep it that way. Single for Torres. Now the pitcher spot. It's a pinch hitter, Drew Ward, up next. He walks. The first 2 men reach in the inning against Boyce. Now a sac bunt makes it 2nd and 3rd for Yoenis Frederick. And let's pitch around him. He walks. Judge up next. Judge strikes out. 2 down for Moustakas. And he flies out. So Boyce works out of the jam there. And it was 2nd and 3rd with 1 out. His bases loaded with 1 out as well. And no runs were scored. So Trout leading things off in the 8th for the Pirates to face Matt Barnes, the new 8th inning man for this Yankees team. Trout leads off with a single. Sanchez is your next man up. He triples home Trout. That ties the game. And now the go-ahead run just 90 feet away with no outs in the inning. Infield is going to have to come up and play on the grass here against Gillespie. And we'll see if he takes advantage. Grounds out there. Esposito, the next man, needs to try and get a ball in the air here. He walks. That will set up the double play ball if Vigna hits one on the ground. Instead, he doubles home 2 runs, and the Pirates have the lead. 3 runs in the 8th, and they take a 4-2 lead, and still a chance for more with just 1 out of the inning, and Rubio up next. As it's going to be Thornburg on now for the Yankees, sporting a 1.93 ERA through 9 1/3 innings of work so far in this postseason. He gets Rubio to ground out. Now Boyce's spot is up next. We're going to go to Ackerman here. And Ackerman strikes out, so we take a 2-run lead into the 9th inning. And I'm going to turn the game over to Roberto Osuna, who has worked 5 scoreless innings so far this postseason. Gives up a double to Dietrich with 2 outs. That will bring the tying run to the plate in the form of Gleyber Torres. Torres grounds out, and the ball game is over. Osuna shuts the door, and the Pirates win Game 1. So we take a 1-0 series lead. And now Game 2, it's going to be Tanaka and Taillon. How about this for a pitching matchup? Both players going up against their former teams. I didn't really talk about Taillon in the beginning, but I'll touch on him now a little bit. And look at Glasnow too, also with the upgraded rating now up into the high 80s. Both him and Taillon kind of late bloomers, I would say. Taillon's 31 now, Glasnow's 29. But this was Glasnow's first, even solid season for the Brewers. Before that, ERA in the mid to high 4s his entire career. So he hadn't really panned out until this year. Taillon, on the other hand, has been a lot more successful since he's been traded, playing in New York. This year and last year, his 2 best seasons, ERA in the low 3s. But even before that, his first three years in New York, a little bit up and down, but pretty solid nonetheless. The numbers not quite as good as they had been these last 2 years. I think he's certainly taken a step forward in his ages 30 and 31 season. But either way, it's going to be a tough opponent, and he's going to be pitching with some extra motivation going up against his former team, but as will Masahiro Tanaka. Now, of course, these players weren't traded for each other. We got Tanaka from the Brewers, but still, Tanaka facing his former team. Not too often that either of these guys get to face each other or face their former teams, because these guys aren't in the same league, of course, but we will get to see it tonight here. Game number 2 in the World Series, Tanaka versus Taillon. And both on the opposite sides of where they started in this franchise. Funny to see that come to fruition in a World Series matchup now. But here it is. New York had a 1-0 lead, but it's 2-1 Pittsburgh now after they get a couple of runs in the 2nd inning. 2-2 now through 3. Tanaka has surrendered a pair of runs so far, but so has Taillon, as they have equaled each other to this point. Tanaka threw a scoreless 5th. And also a 1-2-3 inning for Tyone. So on to the 6th inning we go. Tanaka hits Judge with a pitch. Now has to deal with Moustakas with a man on, who's going to sacrifice bunt. Curious decision there at one of their best bats in the lineup. Now Brantley up next. He grounds out. Mesoraco, he flies out. So that was a really silly choice to bunt with Moustakas. He's by far their highest overall position player and definitely one of their best bats. Don't quite understand that move, but I guess Joe Girardi just so confused playing in the NL, but I don't know. Either way, Tyone throws a scoreless 6th. On to the 7th we go. Bottom in the lineup, so I'm going to leave Tanaka out there. He gives up a solo home run to Torres. And now Tyone's being pinch hit for us, so we're going to also take Tanaka out of the game. Segrist will come on to face a couple lefties here. Gives up a single to Herrera. Frederick flies out. So we head to the 7th, down by a run now. And it's Gillespie who's going to lead things off against the new pitcher, Dylan Betances, working the 7th inning for the 2nd straight night. And you see he's got a pretty nice ERA so far this postseason, but the whip is pretty high, so he's gotten a little lucky. Gives up a leadoff triple to Gillespie, who's on base for the 3rd, or I can't confirm that, but he's got his 2nd hit of the night at least. I figured the other plate appearance was a walk, but Esposito now, man on 3rd with no outs, can't strike out here. So he grounds into a double play instead. Oh my, I guess it's not his fault. I imagine Gillespie got thrown out at home there, but that's not what you want to happen. So, alright, now Segrist, let's bring him back out. Got a couple more lefties due up here. Walks Moustakas, Brantley strikes out. Mesoraco up next. I really want to get Segrist through this inning because his spot is due up next in the order. And he gets the fly out, so perfect. We get 5 outs out of him, I think. And they're going to turn the game to Barnes, I believe. Let's let Ackerman lead off. It's going to be Hildenberger, actually, not Barnes tonight. Ackerman flies out. A single for Marte. He is the tying run. And who's their catcher? Devin Mesoraco. Let's try and steal here. And he's caught stealing. Alright, so the aggressive base running not paying off so far tonight. Going to make a pitching change. Let's go to Zach Britton for this inning. Gives up 2 straight singles. Now it is Urias pinch hitting, a walk. Pitching change. Campos. Can he keep the game at 1? No, that scores a run. Another bunt scores a run. There's a walk for Judge and a strikeout. So a one-run lead becomes a 3-run lead for the Yankees thanks to our bullpen. And now this lead looking a little bit harder to surmount as it's going to be Chapman, who starts off the inning by walking Trout. Not what you want to do there if you're Chapman. Sanchez up next. He strikes out. Gillespie. 2-run home run. It's a 1-run game. Chapman struggling in the postseason so far with the ERA up over 6. And now with 1 out of the inning, it's a 1-run ball game. Esposito up next. He triples, and the tying run all of a sudden is 90 feet away. Diego Vina up now. He needs to get one in play. Try to get one in the air if possible. Yeah, play for the sac fly. What does this do? Is this going to like intentionally try to sac fly? Instead he strikes out. Okay. Not what I wanted there. 2 outs. Rubio's our last chance. It's going to be Barnes trying to get the last out. And Rubio is retired. The Yankees win Game 2. And I think Jameson Taillon was your winning pitcher that game. A solid performance out of him. I think he went 6 innings, gave up 2 runs. Very Jameson Taillon-esque. And yep, there it is. 6 innings, 2 runs. Only 3 Ks. But the Yankees even up the series. So it shifts it back to New York. They get the split. Probably all they wanted. As now we have games in the Bronx. The DH back into effect. We'll see if that proves to be an advantage for them. Typically it is for an AL team. More of an advantage playing in the AL park than it is a disadvantage for them losing the DH in the National League park. Sometimes that's not, it really depends on the team. But for us, I think we're very well equipped to go into an American League park considering our bench. We do have Henry Alvarez this game, and it is Parker Davis over both Sean Mania, who's fully rested, and Taijuan Walker. Both guys are fully rested, but Davis is getting the start instead over both of those guys. And it's just interesting to note because no matter who starts Game 4, Davis is the one who can come back on full rest in a potential Game 7. So that's why the Game 3 start is pretty important. And it is going to be Davis against Alvarez, and we are going to keep the same lineup. Game 3 from the Bronx underway as the World Series returns to New York for the first time in a little while. And it is New York with the 1-0 lead. We even up the game in the top of the 4th. But Alvarez gives it right back in the bottom of the 4th. Now 2-1 Yankees. Make it 4-1. Alvarez struggling here tonight. See if we can get some of those back-to-back singles. for Esposito and Vina. Rubio strikes out. Ackerman with a double that scores 2. Makes it a 1-run game. Marte up next. He strikes out. Lindor with the man in scoring position, but he will ground out. Alvarez now back out there to start out the next inning. Gives up a single to Judge. Now I'm going to take him out. Let's go to Barrett Boyce. Try to get multiple innings out of him potentially. Instead, 2 more runs come across. Double play ball there. So a lot of double plays happen in this game on tie-ups, or for some reason, or tag-ups, I mean. Very weird. Are they going to leave Davis in? No, they go to Betances in the 7th once again. 3-run lead for him to protect, but it's Trout with a double to start things off. And then a single by Sanchez that scores Trout. Make it 6-4. A walk by Gillespie. Still no outs in the inning for Esposito. He strikes out. Vina the next man up. He's got 2 hits tonight. He's going to have to deal with Tyler Thornburg, who's on now for New York. He pops out. Rubio with 2 out. Strikes out to end the inning. So still a 2-run lead for the Yankees. Let's turn the game over to... they have a couple righties and a couple lefties. Let's go to Campos next. See if he can give us a solid 7th inning. And he does just that. On to the 8th we go. Ackerman leading things off. It is Matt Barnes on for the 8th inning now. And he gets 3 straight groundouts. So Campos back out there. I'm going to try and get multiple innings out of him. And I do. On to the 9th. Down by a pair of runs. It's Chapman on, who looked shaky 2 nights ago, but held on for the save eventually. Dealing with Trout here. Gets the strikeout. Now Sanchez is going to single. That brings the tying run to the plate in the form of Casey Gillespie, who also singles. Sanchez up to 3rd. Tying run on board. Go-ahead run at the plate. It is Steven Esposito, who flies out. Now Vina, the last chance for the Pirates. He 3-run homer! And the Pirates take the lead! How about that? All of the haters who wanted Diego Vina traded. Well, he shoves that right up their keisters. That is a huge 3-run home run. 7-6 Pirates. They take the lead with 2 outs. Chapman with another shaky appearance. He blows the save this time. And the Pirates threatening for more with 2 outs. Dealing with Neil Kotz. That can't possibly be the same Neil Kotz that's currently in the big leagues. I thought that guy was old. Anyway, pitching change time. Let's turn the game over to Osuna for the 9th inning. Looking for the save. Dealing with the 8, 9, and number 1 men in the Yankees lineup. Dietrich leading it off with a single. He is the tying run. Arias, could we see him bunt here? It's going to be a pinch hitter, Drew Ward, who flies out. Frederick up next. Double play, and the Pirates win Game 3. A come-from-behind win. A big 3-run home run that came with 2 outs in the 9th inning off the bat of Diego Vina, and that proved to be the difference in the ballgame. The Pirates are winners of Game 3 and now own a 2-1 series lead. So Game 4 is going to be a big one for the Yankees. If they lose, they will fall behind 3-1 in the series, and if they win it, the series will be tied again. But the Pirates are in the driver's seat right now with that 2-1 series lead, thanks to the Game 3 victory. So here we go. Sean Mania against Mitch Keller is your pitching matchup. We're going with the same lineup as always, and here we go. See who comes out on top. A big Game 4 matchup. Pretty good pitching matchup for a Game 4. And the Pirates with 3 runs in the 3rd. We jump out to a 4-1 lead, but the Yankees answer right back. So, although despite it being a pretty good pitching matchup, the offenses are ruling so far. Pirates with nothing going in their half of the 4th. We've got to be careful with Keller now. He gives up a 1-out double to Torres. Strikeout of Dietrich. Herrera singles, but the runner is thrown out at the plate. So we catch a break there. The game remains 4-4. Mania back out there. He retires the side in order. Keller now, who's looked shaky at best, facing the heart of the lineup for the 3rd time, and he gets them in order. Wow, that is pretty unbelievable stuff right there. Esposito now leading off the 6th. He doubles. He is the go-ahead run for the Pirates. McCullers on in relief of the Yankees starter. It is Vina who grounds out. Rubio up next. He walks. 2 on and 1 man out for Ackerman. He walks. The bases will be juiced for the leadoff man, Starling Marte, only hitting .217 this postseason. He strikes out there. Lindor now with 2 outs, the last chance in the inning. He grounds out, and the Pirates leave the bases loaded. The game remains tied at 4. Keller back out there. Going to have to be very, very careful here in the 6th. Gets a ground out of Moustakas. Mesoraco strikes out. Brantley the next man. He flies out, so Keller settling in a little bit. and maybe he will even start the 7th. A leadoff double for Mike Trout, and just like that, the Pirates have a man in scoring position in the 7th. Sanchez flies out. Gillespie, the next man, facing McCullers. He grounds out. Esposito with 2 down. He's got 2 hits tonight. And he makes it 3, a run-scoring single that gives the Pirates the lead. Trout comes across the score, and the Pirates take the lead for the 3rd time tonight. Each time we have so far, the Yankees have answered back in the bottom half. It's a 2-run home run for Vina, make it 7-4. Vina with another big home run. 2nd straight night he's done that. And it's 7-4 Pirates. Now Rubio with 2 outs. He singles. Ackerman facing the new man into the game, Tyler Thornburg, who comes on in relief for the Yankees. That is a fielder's choice. So a 3-run lead. Keller back out there to face Torres, who is 2 for 2 tonight. This might be a mistake. He lines out. Dietrich up next. Doubles. And we are going to go to the pitching change now. Let's go to Barrett Boyce facing the top part of the lineup. Strikes out Herrera and strikes out Frederick. That gets us to the 8th. Still up by 3 runs. Thornburg back out there for the Yanks. Gets the side in order. Boyce back out there for the Pirates. Gives up a leadoff single to Aaron Judge. Drew Ward flies out. Moustakas the next man up. He strikes out. And Mesoraco with 2 down. He grounds out. That ends off the inning. Still a 3-run lead for the Pirates. Betances out for the Yankees. Gets the side in order. On to the 9th we go. Gonna go to Osuna. Once again looking for the save. Gives up a single to Dietrich with 2 outs. Herrera now flies out. And that does it. The Pirates take a 3-1 series lead. So Game 5. A chance to clinch our 3rd World Series championship. As managers of this front office here in Pittsburgh, what would be the 3rd in the last 5 years, and the 3rd in the 7 seasons that we have been the acting general manager, but not counting our chickens before they hatch. Not like a 3-1 series lead is anything, or any bit of a sure thing, but we are certainly in the driver's seat, even more so than we were last game, as it's going to be the Game 1 matchup, a rematch of the Game 1 matchup, one that we did come out on top of. 4-2 victors the first time around. DeGrom, who has looked pretty sharp this postseason, facing Severino, who's also been very effective with a 2.16 ERA. And here we go, game number 5, chance to clinch it in the Bronx, as the Yankees have their backs against the wall, a loss, and they are eliminated. A win for the Pirates, and they are world champs again. Here we go, game number 5, DeGrom versus Severino, 2 of the best young arms in the game right now. In this franchise, they're both a little bit older, and it looks like DeGrom got hurt because Gutierrez is on for the Pirates. That is not a good thing because he has been toasted this postseason so far. Gets a double play there from Dietrich, and Herrera flies out. So still down by a run. Trout works a leadoff walk. Sanchez strikes out. Gillespie walks. So 2 on and 1 out for Esposito, who reaches on an error. Bases are loaded for Vina. He's had some big hits this series. Gets a single there, and the Pirates take the lead. So Severino surrenders a 2-run single to Vina. Vina again being the RBI man. He's got 7 ribbies in the last 3 games now. It is Rubio up next with 2 on and 1 out. It's going to be a pitching change. Betances on a little bit earlier than usual for him. He gets the ground out of Rubio. Ackerman up next. He doubles home 2 more. Pirates lead by 3 runs now. Marte up with a man on in scoring position. He singles home another run. 5 runs across in the inning for Pittsburgh. And they have a 5-1 lead. Lindor up next. He doubles 2nd and 3rd for Trout, who led off the inning with a walk. He walks again. Sanchez with the bases loaded. 2 outs against Betances. And he grounds out to end off the inning. So with a lead now heading into the 6th, I'm going to turn the game over to... Let's go to Zach Britton, see if he can give us maybe 6 outs here. See how he looks. Gets a line out of Judge, strikes out Ward, and pops out, or induces the pop out from Moustakas. So he keeps the lead at 4. Now on to the 7th we go, Neil Kotz. I want to see if that is the same Neil Kotz. I can't imagine. I don't know exactly how old he is in real life, but I thought he was a veteran. And if he's still around in this franchise, I would be kind of surprised. But who knows? It's only year 7, not exactly the longest franchise in existence. But anyway, Britton now back out there for his 2nd inning of work. Hits Brantley. Torres up with a man on and 1 man out. Grounds into the fielder's choice. Dietrich strikes out. So Britton gets the 6 outs I wanted out of him. Now we're going to turn the game over to someone else no matter the score. Still 5-1. Let's get an inning out of... Let's get an inning out of Boyce. Probably can get an inning out of Boyce and Osuna tonight. Boyce does give up the double to Frederick. Gets the pop out from Judge, and Ward also pops out. So now 3 outs away. And here we go on to the bottom of the 9th. Last chance for the Yankees. They need to mount quite the rally here, looking for 4 runs off of the Pirate closer Osuna. And those would be the first 4 runs he has given up all postseason. So a tall task for this Yankees lineup, but it's Moustakas leading it off. He flies out 1 away now. Pittsburgh 2 outs away from their 2nd straight World Series championship. Mesoraco is the next man up. Brantley on deck. Mesoraco with the flyout 2 away. Brantley the last chance. Osuna looking to finish it off here in the Bronx. And he grounds out, and the Pirates are world champions again for the 3rd time in 5 years, the 2nd year in a row. The Pirates are world champions. They are the kings of the baseball world once again. A 116 team win team avenging the 115 win team that lost in the LCS a couple years ago to the Dodgers. This year, we were 116 wins, and we showed every bit of it in the postseason, only dropping 2 games or 3 games actually, 1 in each series. We went 11 and 3 overall. And let's see who the postseason and World Series MVPs were. As it is playoff MVP for Casey Gillespie and a World Series MVP for Mike Trout. So how about that? He had been struggling a little bit in the postseason, but hit .450 with 1 home run and 3 ribbies in the World Series. And that is certainly something that you can add to the Hall of Fame resume for Mike Trout. He is up to 97.8 career WAR, well on his way to the Hall of Fame at this point. And now has a World Series and a World Series MVP to add on to the resume. Pretty cool stuff for Mike Trout. That is why I wanted to go get him, because I wanted to see him play on this stage, and I wanted to get him that elusive World Series. We defeated him in the World Series last year when he was a member of the Angels. This year, he comes over to the dark side and captures the World Series for the first time in his career. So that is going to do it. Hope you guys did enjoy. I think I will do one more episode. This is going to be the final season of this franchise, but I might do one more episode sort of recapping things, maybe going back through. I don't know if I can pull up old statistics, but it would be nice to kind of just recap the progression of this team. Maybe even just go back to the roster and look through how we built it, how we got each guy here. So might do something like that, because I also would be nice to finish off the series with a nice round number like 60 episodes as opposed to 59. 59 just feels incomplete. Although, I want to say maybe there were only 59 episodes of The Wire, so I think there were more than 59. Who knows? Anyway, I'm just rambling at this point, so I better end off the episode. That does it. Hope you guys did enjoy. Thanks for watching, and as always, I'm out.